when you die.
Right, hello and welcome to Treading Water. This show was directed by Charlotte Lasrado, produced by Cassie Mason, and written by Claire Cole. This production will contain some flashing and flickering lights, strobe, and some loud noises. In case of emergency, fire exits are here where it says exit. And enjoy the show.
It's funny, isn't it? How stories get warped and distorted through our telling of them. But the thing about stories is, people only ever tell the ones they want to hear. This is a story you've heard before, in a manner of speaking. Once upon a time, there lived a young maiden named Ariel, so enamoured with life above water, she'd give anything to explore. Once upon a time, she met a sea witch and made a deal to meet the prince of her dreams. Once upon a time, she had limited time to make that man fall in love with her, or risk turning to sea foam. A fair deal, I'd say. In fact, I gave her fair returns in many a deal I've made in the past. What can I say? I'm kind.
I was told you'd take something of sentimental value. This necklace, it's been in my family for generations now.
No, dear. I take what I like. And from you, I'd like something different. Once upon a time, Ariel made it to land and met the prince of her dreams. She actually did get pretty close to him. Hardly surprising. Batting her eyelids at a man, they can always be relied on to follow their own selfish impulses. Honestly, I think the fact she couldn't talk probably made her more attractive to him. But was this man that Ariel threw her life away over actually a prince? Of course he wasn't. Just some grubby sailor who slapped with anything that battered their eyelids at him. It's not my fault she fell in love with a pig. It's not my fault she failed to make him fall in love with her. But he did kiss her. Magic is complicated. It wants simple answers, yes or no, black or white. Once upon a time, Ariel only partially met the conditions of the deal, and there were consequences. Serious consequences that cannot be undone. If it were down to me, the girl would be sea foam. But it's not down to me. And magic is uncaring.
When I woke up this morning, I was alone. And I felt alone the entire time I've been up here, but this morning I woke up and he wasn't there, and I wasn't expecting it. I waited for a long time. I thought, maybe he's gone out to get breakfast, and I actually got pretty excited, like, oh wow, he's gone to get breakfast because he cares about me and he wants to take care of me. Thank God. But something felt wrong with the situation. Like I could feel this pit of dread in the bottom of my stomach, and not just like there was something wrong with the situation, like there was something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. When the sea witch put the spell on me, I've started to feel this tugging under my chest, like something was pulling at me, and when I woke up this morning, the tugging was gone. I couldn't feel it anymore, and I think a piece of me was gone too. And deep down, I knew that this is what it was, that he didn't care about me, and that I've made this horrible, horrible mistake, and by all accounts I should be dead, and I don't know why I'm not, but
Morning. Morning, madam. Lovely day, isn't it? Do you love the smell of the sea air on a spring morning? Invigorates the mind, I say. Due a bit of good weather after last week, don't you think? Do you often come here to the beach? I do. Well, not as much as I'd like. My work pulls me away from the finer things in life. Can't really complain when I do it myself. Dr. 𝗦𝗵cie𝘄 pleasure to make your acquaintance. Have you been mute your whole life, my dear? No, I thought not. Forgive me, it's just, I'm the royal physician, and if you are in need of a doctor, I would be delighted to lend my knowledge. It's an incredibly boring job, really. You'd be amazed how many courtiers are obsessed with the idea of getting sick, to the point of forcing me to console them over every small wart or blemish. No, I much prefer my work here, in the summer months. My real passion, you see, is the natural sciences. In the winter, I'm summoned back to court to tend after flu and fever, but in the summer months, when there's less sickness, I'm permitted to return to my home and study. Have you ever studied the sciences, my dear? Then you are yet to know the true joy of life. Imagine looking at a person or animal and seeing its true living spirit, looking at the stars and understanding how they move. There is so much we can learn from the natural world. Please forgive me if I'm too forward, but I have been looking for several weeks now for a housekeeper. I'm getting on a bit, you see, and nowadays I either have the energy to cook and clean or to work, and so I often go hungry in a messy home. I couldn't offer much, but 3 hot meals a day and a roof over your head. I feel no pressure to accept at this moment. I understand that I can be brash sometimes, and it can intimidate. The position is yours, for as long as you need it, whether that's just a week or the whole summer. I live in the house just up this road, so drop by whenever you'd like to see the place. Pleasure to meet you, madam.
I thought I'd arrive earlier to try and readjust the current. I had a thought last night that if we tried to ramp it up too high without some kind
Without a capacitor, yes, I had the same thought myself, although then of course we need a higher voltage and we risk burning the feathers. Will, this is Miss... Good gracious, I don't know your name. How utterly abhorrent of me. Will, this is our new... do you write? Not to worry, we'll work something out. Will, this is our new housekeeper. Miss, this is Will. No matter what he tells you, you're not his mother. He can keep his own room clean.
What do you have to go and say that for? Now she thinks I'm an idiot.
Not an idiot, just a slob.
I suppose that's fair. It's lovely to meet Miss. I've been waiting for this moment for an age. How freeing to not be the only one to prevent the old man from burning the house down. I'm afraid I shan't shake your hand. I've been holding a swallow pulse for the past 20 minutes. But I do hope that won't get in the way of what I imagine shall be a fruitful partnership in gang up on 𝗦𝗵cie when he's being ridiculous.
Oh, our colleague here is mute, Will, but I must say, my dear, you have a wonderful energy. It really brightens up a room.
Are you really? Do you sign? Oh, not to worry, I'll be lips.
You do?
Yes, my sister is deaf, so a necessary skill to acquire. It always came in handy as kids when we had plans we didn't want our parents to hear. Have you met your whole life?
Will, leave the poor girl alone. Focus on what you're good at, like ruining my experiments.
Oh, I'm sorry. Aren't I the one who found a way to preserve those mice hearts about the weird green stuff you always ended up with?
Yes, that might be true, but you're also the one who just burned that poor swallow's feathers.
Oh, shit.
Not a higher voltage then, although maybe with more resistance.
Are you interested in the sciences, miss?
Maybe. I'm not entirely sure what counts as the sciences. I like learning about the natural world, but that seems a little overwhelming.
Yeah, overwhelming's probably the best way to put it.
Why don't you come and have a look at what we're doing at the moment? That is, if you're not squeamish. Good stuff. Well, I, of course, am well versed in medicine, but my true passion lies in understanding the human body at its core, how it works. You see, 20 years ago now, Julien 𝗖𝗀𝘀𝘁𝗶𝘃𝗲𝘀 published 𝗏𝗏𝗏, in which he proposed that the human body works much as a machine does, and animals are mere automatons. Now, this, of course, builds off the work of Descartes, but it does call into question. It has been shown recently that if we apply a current through frogs' legs, it will make them twitch, which is frightfully interesting, but it does call into question a lot of what we have assumed thus far as fact.
Harry's interested in muscles, in the nervous system. No, it's not his fault really, he's a naturalist at heart, so he can't help being limited in ambition by such stuff. But I want to get to the heart of it all, go bigger. I want to look at resurrection.
God's sake, Will, that poor bird utterly useless now.
I wanted to get the point across. I'm sure you got what I was going for, right?
I think I got the point before you nearly caused a fire.
Oh, who are you to judge?
The person employed to stop the house from burning down.
Yes, I suppose you've got me there.
If you ignore my rather infantile apprentice, the point is there is so much we can learn from the natural world, and our job, the job of scientists, is to look at the world around us, look at what interests us, and figure out how that works. Now, if you'll excuse me, Will and I must get on with fixing his mistakes.
We're taking important risks, I think.
And I'm sure you need time to settle in. Why don't you take the rest of the morning off, and then I'll show you the kitchen so you can begin lunch.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you, Will.
You too. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of each other, so don't hesitate to ask if you need showing where something is. This one barely remembers where his head is, so you might want to watch out with that.
Thank you. Oh! You can understand me.
Yes?
It's Ariel. My name's Ariel.
Ariel. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you.
You too, Will. I just don't know what to do. It's been over a week now with Henrik and Will, and it's been nice. It's been fine, but every day I wake up and I dread opening my eyes because I know that I'm going to be here, and it's not going to be in my body, and there's nothing I can really do about that. It is beautiful up here, though. I can say that, at the very least. It was Henrik who showed me. Actually, he was in the lab one day and he was working on a little bird, and it was so round and so delicate, and I just couldn't take my eyes off it. He said he could show me something if I wanted, and I said yes, because I didn't really know what else to do. Henrik took me up a path behind the cabin that took us all the way up the cliffs, talking all the way about different creatures, and how different creatures can be related to each other, and some other stuff that I didn't understand because I wasn't really listening. I was more focused on how much legs hurt when we were going upwards like that. When we got to the top, he just sat down and stopped talking, and it wasn't like I could talk too, so I just sat down and waited. And then, as the sun set, this great big shadow appeared. There were thousands of the same type of bird that Henrik had had in the lab, and they were nothing like a crowd of gulls. They were so elegant, so graceful. They looked much more like a shoal of fish than anything else. I was almost jealous. I think
Ariel?
Will, Sorry, I was just thinking out loud.
Right.
What are you doing out here so late?
Henrik insists the sea air is good for my health is wrong, of course, but the less I can do to stress him out, the better.
Your health?
It was only recently that he needed a housekeeper, you know, I used to do most of it for him. Just be not used to all that,
Not anymore.
Can you toss me something, Ariel?
Yeah.
Go on, throw me something, the necklace.
I've gone there.
Sorry, it's always just easier to show than talk about. Starting with just the one hand, but it's both arms now, and there's only so many glasses you can smash before you're off washing up duty forever.
In the lab?
Well, I've always been more of an ideas man. I am, and always will be a genius, of course, and whoever said you need to write anything down to be a scientist.
A lot of people, I imagine.
Morons! A lot of them. It's amazing what hindrance can do for innovation.
Oh, and what innovation has yours led to?
Well, I quickly learned how to trick Henrik into writing things down for me.
Was it by asking?
It was by asking, yes. He's a good man, and so I repay him by indulging him and going for nightly walks by the sea, despite having absolutely zero effect on my health. I've tried to talk to you about your voice yet. I thought he might have. The old man's a good doctor, he really is, but he doesn't have the most tact ever. I don't think he can be blind to what's right in front of him.
What do you mean by that?
Well, when you think of science, there are lots of different branches. Henrik makes use of a lot of them. There's electromagnetism, naturalism, biology. I have my own specialisms, of course, some of which line up with his, but the problem about someone who spends so much time focusing on one area of study is that they can't see beyond what they used to. Some illnesses can't be fixed by medicine, or rest, or sleep.
You know, Henrik actually suggested to me that a lot of patients struggle at ease when they talk about their problems. Out loud. I was about this close to hitting him.
I think I might have if I were you. Now, here's the thing though, my particular field of interest, the one I intend to spend the rest of my life studying, is alchemy.
Sorry, I don't think I've heard of it.
Well, it's all about transmuting one thing into another, water into wine, lead into gold, one type of creature into another. It's magic, really. And a lot of people around here really don't like it, they think it's devil worship. But I've seen a lot in my time studying in the natural world. I've seen magic, real magic. And the thing about magic is that there is always a way to solve a problem if you're willing to pay the price.
So, what, are you trying to get the tremors fixed?
No, that was the price. But with your voice, I mean, if you did want it back, I think I might know a way.
You have a way to give me my voice back with magic.
Well, yes, there's someone you could talk to. I mean, she scared the shit out of me when I spoke to her, but she's willing to help anyone, and I can't help but admire her for that. You see, a few years ago, I read about this mirror in an old journal, and it allowed the viewer a wish for a small cost. It took me a while, but I finally found it for a contact of mine in Prussia, and, well, it was everything I read it was. It was beautiful, but there was one small difference. It wasn't the mirror that granted the wish. It allows you to speak to an enchantress. I mean, I could better take the thing apart to examine it, and the more questions I ask, the more threats I receive, but you should use it.
An enchantress.
I don't know who she is, but she's powerful, Ariel.
Do you have it?
Hello? Who calls? Oh, it's you, little maiden. Fancy seeing you here. Mrs. 𝗖𝗍𝗲𝘁𝗶 here. For now, you have 2 minutes.
I didn't know it would be you.
And I didn't know that you're not Sylvain. Funny, I was certain the boy wouldn't give you the time of day.
It's not your business, actually, what happened.
Huh. Magic works in mysterious ways. So go on then. Why are you here if you got what you wanted?
I didn't get what I wanted. He kissed me and I didn't get my voice back. I'm still stuck in this god-awful body. Every step I take feels like needles and I'm...
You're alive, aren't you? You're on land, like you asked for, and someone clearly gave you like a cursed mirror, so you're not completely alone then either.
What I want is to be a mermaid again.
I see.
So, fix it. Turn me back. You made me this way.
I didn't do anything. I gave you exactly what you asked for, nothing more, nothing less. You failed to make the conditions of the deal.
I did. He kissed me.
Agent, if you can look me in the eye and tell me with complete certainty that that was true love's kiss, then I will travel to the ends of the ocean to fill my end of the deal. Just because an unfortunate thing happened to you doesn't mean you can take your anger out on other people.
So what do you want from me? I need my life back.
And what exactly do you have to offer for this ordeal?
My necklace, it has sentimental value. You can take that.
Pass.
Or my voice. You can keep my voice.
Your voice.
Yes.
It's not your voice anymore. I paid for it. It's mine. But what you thought, because I'm lending it to you, I'd conveniently forget. There's a time limit on my generosity, dear. Don't push it.
I'll pay anything, please. I need my life back.
I'm an extraordinarily talented witch. And I can tell you, with 100% certainty, that with a situation like this, there is no magic that will simply fix it. An enchantment of this complex detail has to be completely undone from scratch. It won't take any fresh magic on top of it. Even if I were able to complete such a deal, that's a service I'm completely disinterested in.
How can you say that? How can you say that? Sit there and feel no guilt. You've ruined my life.
Young maiden, I know that up until now you've lived in a world where young girls get a happy ever after just by being nice. In the real world, bad things happen. You don't get a happy ending just because you want it. You made this mistake. Not me, not anybody else. Accept the consequences.
I know.
Well then.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. If I can't have my old life back, then there's not anything. There's nothing.
I'm truly sorry to be the first person to tell you this. But life is not one grand adventure, and you are not the heroine. In the grand scheme of things, your suffering, your loss, is nothing of blip. Do you want to know why? Because it just so happened I fancied a voice that day. It just so happened you fell for a pig. Because bad things happen all the time, randomly. And if you live long enough, something bad will happen to you, and you will have to learn to deal with it. If you spend your whole life trying to get other people to fix your problems, taking your anger out on them, you only make them suffer. Right then, time's up, I'm afraid. It is my voice after all. I hope you've learned something, dear. It was a pleasure doing business.
Ariel, is that you, dear? Goodness, you look absolutely miserable. Is everything all right? I've noticed you and Will have been spending a lot of time together recently. Good. I think you're both in dire need of a friend your own age, not just some doggery old fool like myself. But I don't think I would be entirely wrong if I said that he was the cause of your mood. Will can be a difficult person sometimes. I've been close to falling out with him myself several times. And I think anyone who's not an endlessly flowing fountain of tolerance would be in the same position. That being said, I know Will, and I am able to see through his arrogance. That's the thing, my dear. That arrogance is by no means faked, and let us be honest, it isn't entirely unfounded either, but what it is it's a shield. The dear boy has been hurt quite badly, and recently as well. I believe he'd rather upset any number of well-meaning people than put himself in such a vulnerable position again. Do you understand? I assume by now you're aware of Will's particular field of study. You and I are reasonable people. We understand that anything that is supposedly magic or supernatural is really just the natural world that hasn't been studied yet. Until recently, women were accused of witchcraft for the simplest herbs and medicines. I'm sure the Aurora Borealis looked like magic to the people of the Dark Ages, but it's all just the natural world. Not everyone sees it that way. There was a time when Will was threatened several times with arrest for what people in town saw as dark magic. He kept his study quiet for a while, but he knew that I didn't have the same objection, so he moved his study to my lab, and we worked well together for a good while. And then his sister passed. He was devastated. Absolutely devastated. She was 15, I think, caught under a carriage. He never told me quite what he did, but I can't imagine it was easy. But one weekend he went away without a word, and when he came back there was a slight tremor in his hand. You'd think that any parent would be overjoyed to have a child back. What a gift! But that was the end of Will's relationship with his parents. It's true. They moved away. Took Eva with them. He hasn't been allowed to see her since. They wanted a fresh start or some nonsense. And then some idiot goes spreading rumours. How he found out about it, I've no idea, but there was a time when things genuinely started looking scary. Well, I'm lucky I have good enough standing with the royal family to vouch for him, but apart from me, he doesn't really have a friend in the world. And you, I hope. Shall we? Most kind. I have spotted a small buzzard circling here, following a rather unusual flight path. So I have been wondering if he's ill. Perhaps we shall see him again today.
What are you reading?
Sorry, Ariel, is everything okay?
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to know what you were reading.
Oh, no, it's okay. You might find this interesting, actually. Here, I'm using that bird from the other day. So what Henrik and I are looking at in a minute is understanding how electricity makes the muscles of the body contract. That's what you saw the other day. So we can make a dead creature move as though alive by firing sparks through it. However, if we were to raise a creature back to life, we would need to find the equivalent, but for the soul.
Okay.
Yeah, well, this is a book by a Chinese monk, and it's all about the soul. If I'm honest with you, it's a lot of waffle. But he makes some interesting points about how the soul is made up of our values, things we love in life, familial connections, etc. I'm trying to work out what that might be for a bird.
Right.
Oh, don't look at me like that. I know it's nonsense, but we have to start somewhere. Science is all about ruling everything out until eventually we reach the right conclusion.
No. Yeah. Makes sense.
Is something wrong?
No, I just wanted to thank you for the mirror. It didn't work, but thank you.
It didn't work. Did you manage to speak to the witch?
I did. She said no.
Just like that? Flat out no?
Not quite. I think it's more of a one wish per customer situation, and I seem to have wasted mine.
You, sorry, I'm confused. Have you used the mirror before?
No, not quite. It's a little complicated.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I can keep up. I'm pretty smart, you know.
Right. Well, I'm not from here. You and Henrik both know that. I don't know you've never asked, but the more and more time I spend here, the more I realise I don't fit in. I can't imagine how I must have seemed when I first got here. Okay. The reason I didn't need to use the mirror to speak to the sea witch is because that is where I'm from.
That's where you're from?
Yes, I'm a mermaid. Was a mermaid.
You're You're a mermaid?
Yeah.
Right.
And the sea witch gave me legs, but took away my voice.
Jesus. Can you go back and forth? Well, why? What was your plan?
Would you believe me if I said it was for a man?
You're kidding.
He spent roughly 18 hours with me before he disappeared. I've never been more afraid than in that moment, and I don't know, I so badly wanted to explore the human world, and I even more badly wanted everything to just work out perfectly, and oh well, it's so fucking stupid. I've ruined my own life and I've got no one else to blame but myself.
I must say I'm not unfamiliar with the feeling.
And I'm so grateful for you and Henrik for teaching me, for having me, but well, the more time I spend on land, the less I can remember
Of the sea?
I guess, but not that really. I feel like I was this whole other person before, and now the more I try and hold a picture of her in my mind, the more that she slips away from me. It's like I was this whole other person, and I wish I could show you who that was, but you'll only ever know this person.
Well, it's a good job I like this person, isn't it?
But how am I supposed to? I feel like I will always be less from having lost her.
About 4 years ago now, I lost my sister in September. It's nearly the anniversary, actually.
Henrik told me well, I'm so
Thank
sorry.
you. Thanks. When I lost her, I lost a piece of myself, and it took a very, very long time to accept that the piece of me that was her is gone, completely and utterly gone forever. I suppose that's why people believe in heaven and hell, don't they, really? Because they can't accept that there is no solution to a problem that big. But that's not the problem. It's about accepting that the missing piece is a piece of you in and of itself.
So what do you believe in?
Sorry?
You said people believe in heaven and hell, but you don't.
No, I don't think so.
So what do you believe in?
You ask some awfully tricky questions, you know that. You'd make a good scientist. Fine. I believe in nature, souls, life essence. I believe there's a balance that you can't give without taking back. So I like to believe that losing something means the universe will grant something in return. And I believe in magic.
Fairly reasonable stuff then.
Yes, I would say so. I think the real question you need to ask yourself now, Ariel, is what's next? What do you want to do?
I don't want to think about that.
I know.
I don't want to accept it yet, that this is my life.
I know.
But if this is my life, I want to stay here with you and Henrik. Learn from you both, learn to write. Maybe.
You'd be very welcome.
Maybe I can learn more about birds. They're part of the reason why I wanted to come up here in the first place.
That'd be nice.
But I want to keep searching for a way back.
Me too. I'm still searching, but it's not my whole life anymore. And I want you to know that when you reach that point, it's a huge relief. Having said that, I'm looking for something that might help you.
What?
Well, I've read a lot around the topic of magic and alchemy, and something that keeps coming up again and again and again is this idea of a curse ring, an object that can undo magic, otherwise unable to be undone. So, if I found it, I might be able to get my hands in working condition, and you can keep your voice.
Do you know what it is?
Well, I met a merchant on an ocean to England, and he shared with me a letter about a woman who found a curse breaker object.
What did it say?
Well, it called the object an angel plume.
Angel plume. What is an angel plume?
I have no idea, it could be a translation error, but I think if we want to find a way back, that's what we look for.
So, we have explored why one might want to study animals and their environment, and we have discussed why one might want to study those interactions, and since I am easily distracted, we have also discussed the stork's bill, and how the name stork's bill actually has nothing to do with storks at all. Are you following? Excellent. Still enthralled by the sciences? Of course you are. You were born to be a biologist, my dear. Simply born for it. Looks as if we're almost back at the beach. Shall we sit a while, catch our breath? Most kind. You see, the thing about biology is that it's often best to start broad and narrow in. So whilst now you are looking at a species in general, in no time you shall be collecting your own specific data, since you have the knowledge to understand what that data means. We're so lucky to live by the ocean, don't you think? Every day I come up here and I thank God for this view. You know, when I was in my 50s, I used to constantly look back on my past, turning over every decision I'd ever made. What was it worth it? Would my life be better if it were different? I regret it. But now that I'm an old man, I thank God. Every decision I ever made, good and bad, has led me here, to this view, with good company. And well, I wouldn't change that for the world. Did you and Will manage to have a chat, by the way? Good. The two of you seem a little more content these past few days. Life is short and beautiful, my dear. No point diluting it with small quarrels. And you know, Ariel, if you do ever find home calling and a simple route there, Will and I, we'd be sorry to see you go, but we hope that you might keep in touch. But if you are happy here, Ariel, we are happy with you. Our home and our knowledge is yours, since you have been kind enough to share your friendship with us. Right. home time. Yes, our buzzard. Seems a little stronger today, don't you think? Shall we? Sorry, my dear, I don't know what came over me. Well, get well.
August 5th, the test with the electrodes didn't seem too effective. Will, Ariel, what's wrong?
It's Henrik, he just collapsed on the beach.
What?
He went white, he clutched his chest. I think he's breathing, but I'm not sure. He told me to get you.
He ran out of heart medicine this morning. Oh, he promised me he'd be okay for a day without it.
Is he going to be okay?
I don't, I'll bring his medication. I know how to draw it up. It'll only take me a few minutes. We have the foxglove. I'll bring the smelling salts. Where on the beach is he?
The cluster of rocks just below the cliff. I'm sorry, I couldn't carry him. I didn't know what to do.
No, it's okay. You go back to him. I'll be back with you when I have the draft bed. Shit!
Let me help.
No, Ariel, it's fine. I'm not useless. For fuck's sake! Sorry, I'm just...
Well, let me help.
No offense, Ariel, but...
It's okay.
Fine, okay. Back up, give me half of it in the large drop. Yeah, okay, that's enough. And then it's the foxglove, you need 12 of the flower heads. There's a pestle and mortar, you can grind them up. Yeah, okay, and then it's the white cherry wine, it's there on the shelf. I don't want to bring it on. Yeah, it's that water cup. If we had time, we'd apply heat and simmer, but we don't. So we will just have to hope that is strong enough.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to think. No, we won't waste time. Just 3 drops of the almond oil, and that's the bare essentials. So
That
I'll
one?
come back. No, the one next to it.
That one?
No, the one that says almond oil.
Will.
Sorry, I know you can't read. I'm just stressed.
Okay, we have the flask. Is that everything?
That's everything.
Okay.
Wait. Just put some of that in. Not much of it. It's precious, but just for luck.
Okay. We have the flask. Is that everything? Let's go.
That's everything.
So worried, my dear. Now that I can get fresh air again, I'll be right as rain before you know it. See you later, Will.
Have fun and be careful. I'm not saving your life twice in 2 weeks.
Heavens, no. Next time I collapse on the beach, I expect to be completely left to be picked apart by seagulls. Right? Cheerio.
Well,
Ariel,
are you ignoring me?
I'm looking at you right now.
No, but I mean, in general, I feel like you've been avoiding me. Henrik's been out of bed for a week now, and I've seen you once in that time.
I've just been busy is all. I've double the work to do when Henrik is sick.
So you can't eat dinner with me? Or come to the market on Saturdays?
Sorry, it slipped my mind this week. I can come with you to the market tomorrow if you like.
The market was today, Will.
Right. Sorry.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Will.
I'm exhausted, Ariel. I'm angry. I'm exhausted with being angry.
You're angry? At me?
No! God, no. At life, the universe, not myself.
Oh.
You didn't miss much not seeing me the past week. I'm not that much fun to be around at the minute.
I don't mind. I still missed you.
I'm sorry, I really don't mean to take this out on you. It's just, I'm not really feeling that myself at the minute, and it's been a while since I felt that way, so it feels a bit shit, to be honest.
felt like...
Felt like who I am is not a person worth being.
Oh.
Sorry, I know that's awful, I know. It's just... when something bad happens to you, suddenly, randomly, before you have the chance to work out who you are, you have the urge to become the bad thing. Everyone else knew me as Will, whose sister died, so that's who I became. And I got so sick of it being sad. That's who I was, being sad. So I picked something else. I picked being clever. I picked being good at my job. But I can't do that anymore. And I know to some extent being clever was performative to show people this is who I am. But I was good at science. I was good at medicine. And it helped people. But I can't do what I love anymore. And I can't be who I want to be. And I always couldn't help one of the two people who care about me. So...
yeah.
so it's not really worth it. Not sure I'm worth it.
Yeah. No, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
You don't have to provide things for people to have worth, though. You can just exist because you exist.
But what if I want to help people and do good for the community and be cleverer than other people even? Is that so selfish?
No. No. I've been trying not to regret my decisions anymore. Partly due to what you said about, our mistakes being a part of us and, not having to let go of that. I spend every single day wishing that I didn't want to go back, that I couldn't have all started again and have it easier. But I think I'm getting better at it. I think. But I don't think I'll ever stop wishing for a way back, for it to get easier from here on out.
Yeah.
Will, can you look at me?
I am looking at you. I have to look at you to talk to you.
No, but really, really look at me. I wanted to thank you for listening to me and for everything else, but I feel heard around you, and that is pretty impressive. I like you a lot, Will, and I promise you're worth it.
That's it's really nice, Ariel.
No, but
Thank you. But you make it easy. I like talking to you.
no, but really, without you, I couldn't live this life. I couldn't communicate with anyone. I couldn't make decisions for myself.
It's really
I
okay.
am not done. I wanted to ask if you'd work with me, if I could work with you. I can't imagine how horrible it must be to lose the use of your hands, but I could offer you the use of mine.
What do you mean?
Like how I made Henrik's medicine. When he collapsed, you told me what to do and I was able to do it. We could do that if you like, whenever, for as long as you like. We could do the work together.
No, I don't think. I don't like asking for help, Ariel. I'm not a charity case.
I know. You're not asking. I offered.
It's very kind of you, Ariel. Really. But then, what's holding me back? It's not. There's this big black cloud on my horizon, the oncoming, and it's probably closer than I care to admit. And I'm never not thinking about it. I had to go through it twice, losing Eva, the grief, and I just can't get over how unfair it is. I lost her twice, and now I have to lose this too. What's left? It's just not fair.
I know.
So if I accept your help, I'm accepting that it's here, that something is gone.
I know.
So that's the long-term plan then? Work together and studying?
You can translate for me when I need you to, and I can write and do experiments for you physically when you need me to.
You act as my hands and I as your voice, I suppose. Okay.
Okay?
Well, if we do this, Ariel, I need to tell you something. I've known for a long time that there is no such thing as a curse breaker object, and even if there were, I don't think I'd ever find it.
Oh. Okay.
I could drive myself insane looking for it if I wanted. Hell, I've almost driven myself to the brink of insanity already. I don't think it's worth it. I think this is worth it.
I think so too. Dear Father, Will recently told me about the concept of a message in a bottle. People write a message to someone that they care about in hopes that that said person will find it. They enclose it in a bottle to protect it from the elements, and they send it off. Will told me in almost all occasions the bottle is lost to sea, so I think the odds are probably in our favour. Seems no more pointless than talking without a voice. Anyway, things are good. Or things will be good. For the first time in a long time, I think I see a future and I think I feel okay about it. Life on land is difficult, but I'm learning about all the things that I wanted to learn about. Life, light, music, and birds. It's difficult, but I think I finally have a place here. As for work, Henrik has been continuing, as ever, his work on the muscles and how electricity is connected, and soul, and will, with how the soul ties into all of this. I can only help in small ways, but when I have something to say, they both make me feel heard, in their own ways. Neither of them tend towards, shall we say, contemplative silence, or indeed any sort of quiet at all, but they make me feel heard. My writing is improving, and I'm sure if you ever find this message, let alone Rugg, to learn to read Danish, I'm sure that you'll find all sorts of mistakes. But it's good enough for now, and Will seems adequately impressed with my note-taking. I suppose that's all for now. I love you, and I miss you. Ariel.
Ariel, have you seen the small scalpel anywhere?
No, sorry.
Oh, typical. Always goes missing when you need it.
It's okay, I'm rather happy using the bigger one anyway.
Oh, but it might damage the microfibers.
I'm aware it might damage the microfibers, but as I said, I'm perfectly happy using the bigger one.
Fine, but I want it known that if I were dissecting, I would use the smaller one.
And I can acknowledge that. It's the swallow we're working on this morning, isn't it?
Yes, I think Henrik wanted to look at the optic nerve, if that's all right.
Okay. Funny. It was a swallow you were working on the day that we first met.
Was it really?
But the feather's trying to show off, if I remember correctly.
No, you must be remembering incorrectly, because that doesn't sound like me in the slightest.
They've always been my favourites, swallows. Well, birds, I mean. They fly almost non-stop. Did you know that?
I didn't know. I've always thought they were beautiful, though.
Me too. Sometimes I look at them and I wish I was a bird sometimes.
Sorry, you what?
I'm sorry! William, I thought we were having a nice moment.
Yes, we were, but then you said you wanted to be a bird.
Birds, they have freedom, they're graceful. I wanted to become human and I became a human, didn't I?
Yes, but I do think humans are a little further along the evolutionary chain than birds.
Probably not as far as you think.
Morning.
Good morning.
Have either of you seen the small scalpel? I seem to have misplaced it.
Oh, I'm sure we'll be fine using the slightly bigger one.
If you insist. By the way, I received word this morning. Summer's almost over. They're expecting me back in court. 2 weeks today.
Oh, wow, that's come around quickly.
Seems quicker and quicker every year. Of course, if you both wanted to come, you'd be more than welcome as apprentice and apprentice's assistant. But if you would rather, if things have changed and you'd rather stay here and attend the place in my absence, you'd be more than welcome.
I think we will stay here, actually, Henrik, if that's all right with you.
I thought you might. Well, it'd be strange returning to court alone after so long, but life is made for living after all. No point waiting for good things to come to you.
I'll miss you, Henrik.
Me too.
Oh, by the way, Bill, I ran into Agnes at the bakery. She said she spotted the legacy at Port.
Oh, you're joking, do you think?
She also said she spotted Damien at the inn with the others.
For fuck's sake.
I thought I'd mention in case you wanted to avoid town for a while.
Yeah, probably will have to. People always seem to have a better memory for gossip when he's around.
Well, what are you talking about?
Oh, Ariel, sorry. It's the man who almost got me arrested after everything with Eva. Well, it doesn't matter, but he practically led a mob with torches and pitchforks to my door. And he's a fucking prick.
Damien Olsen, the sailor.
Yeah, that's right. How do you know that?
Damien was the man that I came to land for.
Oh, you're kidding. Of fucking course he was. That son of a bitch.
No, but what if he came back?
What?
What if he came back for me?
Oh, Ariel, I'm sorry. I don't think
Well,
he did.
he said we'd be together. You didn't hear him. You don't just say something like that to someone.
What's she saying?
It's slightly complicated.
No, but Will, really, what if he came back for me? You have to come with me. I have to go see him.
What?
You have to come with me. You said you'd translate.
Absolutely not. No.
You didn't hear him.
I don't have to, Ariel. He's not a good person. Look, Henrik, Ariel had a short romance with Damien at the start of the summer, and because he left without saying goodbye, and now she thinks he's back for her.
Ariel, I don't think
Fuck
that...
you, Will. I'm not a child. You didn't hear the things he said to
I
me.
really don't need to, Ariel.
I think we should all take a deep breath and...
You didn't hear the things he said to me. He might be back for me.
Ariel, so what? He's a sailor, he travels, he comes in and out of town, and everyone has a horrible time until he leaves. So what?
So maybe he came back for me because he cares about me. Is that so hard to believe? Maybe he didn't, but maybe he did come back to care about me. And maybe, just maybe, if he did, I can let go of some of this guilt, regret, and fucking embarrassment, because maybe the mistake I made wasn't so bad.
What did she say?
Yeah, okay. Ariel, we'll go talk to him. It's your decision.
Will, are you sure?
Yeah, if that's what Ariel wants.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'll translate for her. I promise.
Do you think we'll definitely see him?
Well, it's 2 PM on a Tuesday afternoon, so I can't imagine where else he'd be other than the pub.
Right. Well, if he did come back for me, would you be mad?
What?
If we, would you be upset?
Ariel, all I want is for you to be happy. If he treats you well, and he makes you happy, then I couldn't really care less. As long as I can talk about what a wanker he is with me behind his back, I really don't care.
Well, thank you. And we could still work together, But I'd understand if you wanted to go back to court with Henrik. You could do that too. And I can bring him round on you. Maybe once he really talked to him, maybe once he really talks to you, you can put whatever happened behind you both.
We went to primary school together.
You did?
Yeah, he left education at about 16 or so to become a sailor. He was always a bully as a child, really nasty piece of work.
Then that's probably why you think of him that way. People do change between primary school and adulthood.
Maybe.
Right.
Charming as ever, Damien.
Well, all handsome motherfucker in my town.
Well, I live here, Damien, so...
I don't know where in Denmark accepts freaks and psychopaths, but who'd have found it by now?
Well, as I said, I live here, so...
Right. Back off soon then.
Actually, Damien, could we talk to you for a second? Actually, Ariel wants to talk to you for a second.
Who?
This is Ariel, you know her, you met her on the beach.
So what?
In June, the beach. Seriously.
Oh, you're the mute girl from the inn. Yeah, that was a fun night.
You left without saying goodbye, Damien.
What, don't tell me I found the one sentimental whore in town.
We heard you were in town, Damien. We thought you might want to catch up. Actually, we thought you might want to catch up with Ariel, considering she's actually a very interesting and decent person.
Want to catch up? Sure we can find a room at the end.
Sorry, I don't know why. I'm sorry for making you do this.
Wait, Ariel, no, don't say that!
I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not paying for a whore I didn't touch.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Did you just say something?
I said shut your fucking mouth! You have no idea who that girl is. Oh, you're fucking despicable! She's good and kind and clever and she's such a decent person. She actually convinced me to give you the benefit of the doubt. She sees the good in people and she makes me want to do the same. She's 10 times the person you will ever be.
You think I'm despicable? That's a bitch coming from the man who dug up his sister's grave, formed dark magic on. You fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't know what I expected from talking to you. My choice is mine, Damien, and I'm learning to accept that. What the fuck are you doing? I'm so sorry.
So embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. It's brave.
It's just what people say when you've done something embarrassing that you don't want you to feel bad.
Oh, you deserve better than him. And it really will not be that hard to find.
Yeah. I'm sorry for making you do that.
Don't be. Really. It's a promise I want to keep.
Yeah.
Besides, I would have been by your side regardless. You're kind of my best friend, Ariel. Sorry, I don't know if that's a bit sad to admit.
It's not. You're kind of my best friend too. I miss home so much. Yeah, that thing that people say about them being glad a bad thing happened to them because it made them who they are. I don't understand that. I think it's such bullshit.
No, I get you. I don't think I think like that either. To me, it's more like a bad thing can just be a bad thing. No silver lining. And in the moment, the bad thing seems like everything and you can't see past it, but the further away you get, the smaller it shrinks into the distance. Always there, but a little less every day. It's the anniversary of Eva's death a week today. Thinking about her a lot recently. I actually think you and her would really get along, you know? I don't know if she's still alive, if one of which Eva even was really alive at all. Like, I don't know if I'll ever see her again.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope you do. Wherever she is with my parents, I just hope she's happy. When we were kids, my mother used to send us out to the beach a lot to run off spare energy or what have you. One time she and I got into a fight. She got angry when we were climbing rocks and she pushed me and I fell face first and I had a swollen lip for a week. I fell really quite hard on one of the rocks right here and so the scar. It was such a terrible day. My mother screamed the house down and I cried so hard I almost threw up. But it's in the distance now. Just something that happened. And something to remember at life, always. There are parts of the ocean that will always be with you, and parts of you that will always be there. It's beautiful. Your necklace, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen you without it.
My father got it me for my 16th birthday.
May I see it?
It's magic, I think. You never fully explained it. If you're careful, you can study it if you'd like.
Oh God, no, don't worry about that. You keep it safe.
It's an 𝗖𝗀𝗀𝘁𝗶𝘃𝗲𝘁 shell. I think that's what he said anyway. It doesn't mean an awful lot to me, but might mean something to you.
Sorry, it's a what?
𝗖𝗀𝗀𝘁𝗁𝘁 shell, I think that's what he said.
𝗖𝗀𝗀𝘁𝗃, that's what he said?
Yes, I think so.
Ariel, that's Old Norse, 𝗖𝗀𝗀𝘁𝗃, it means angel plume. Angel plume, like the merchant's letter, the angel plume was the curse breaker object. I thought I'd never find one, I'd given up. Ariel, you're dead.
Going back home.
Yes. No. Yes, no. What do you mean, no? You have a way back home. Your way back to your normal life.
And you just said this entire thing about keeping your promise. We're helping each other, studying together. I won't give that up.
I take it all back. You have a way home, so you're going back home.
You could take this and get your hands back. You could do anything you want to be. You could be the best scientist this world has ever seen.
No, it's not mine. I'm not taking this opportunity from
And
you.
I won't take it from you. How can I leave you here alone? How can I live with myself if I use this?
No! No!
Will, please!
No, I can't let you do this. I can't.
And I won't take this opportunity from you. If I use this, how will I live with myself? You won't use it either.
No.
Oh, please.